Sometimes you got to just be present with yourself and who you are and the people around you. You know what I mean? And I also like to use my voice in a particular way. And if I don't have something constructive or positive or productive to add to the conversation, then I'm gonna bide my time till I have something to bring to the table. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Um, I know you've been busy doing a whole bunch of stuff. Business wise with your career and all that. Have you been in tune with what's going on right now in the culture?
Yeah, a little bit, like not all the way tapped in. I've missed a lot of things. Like I haven't caught a lot of battles, but there's some stuff that I'm tapped into. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Okay, okay,
I'm tuned into the conversation of the moment. You know what I mean?
okay, okay. Right now, I just seen this tweet yesterday. This probably is gonna be news to you, Ian, but I'm gonna address it to the people before we start talking. I seen T Top put out a tweet asking B Dot would he be interested in battling Mook and Lux, I guess on a double impact.
So top and dot versus Mook and Lux.
Yeah, and that drew my
Ooh,
interest. I like that. I think both of those guys all do angles. I would want to see how that played out, considering Mook and Lux battle, and they got history 2 times. Considering T Top and B Dot battled, and that was a classic battle.
that would be
I'm
crazy.
liking that. How y'all feel about that?
Yeah, that would be crazy to me. Yeah, that would be crazy. I mean, I think one of the illest things about the 2-on-twos or the group dynamic in battle rap is that people are able to like learn from each other and elevate their craft. You know what I mean? And like Mook and Lux is some of the at the highest levels of the craft. So even for them to work together and pick up gems from each other would be crazy. Just like Lux and Hollow,
Mm-hmm.
and then Dot and Top for them to work together like they're both, yeah, like you said, they're all like angle greats. Like to me, top is like one of the unsung angle heroes. You know what I'm saying? Like his
Mm-hmm.
his angle game is crazy, and B dot too. And B dot is a little more intricate, but then top is just like he raps like everything top says is like in pocket, like a Jadakiss type pattern where it's just like clean. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So those combinations would be ill. That would be ill.
Um, let's let's start from the top before we go into currently what's going on right now. So of course, me growing up being a fan of Iron Solomon, I seen you battle a bunch of those battles on the street, Shirt and Tie, all those guys. Then I seen you battle Math, which was a classic battle. Goes down in history on Smack URL history, but definitely for Smack DVD. And then that break happened that where you wasn't really active, and then you said you would only come back for Mook. You came back versus Mook, Summer Madness 2. That battle happened. And you know what I'm saying? I know you explained that already, so we'll bypass that. But my whole thing is after battling Mook, whether however people call it, you still already stamped as a legend, still one of the best in the game. What was the motivation when you came back? I believe your first battle after that was Daylight. What and that was like yeah, one of your best performances. Like for me, I know what drives me to still elevate and continue to, push the level. But I feel like for you, since you was doing this before I even existed, what at that point, what made you come back and go on that tear that you did, starting with Daylight?
Yeah, I mean, like for me, it's not just about like individual battles. It's about legacy and a storyline. Because for me, like my favorite artists, like my favorite rappers, are not just the ones that have a dope song or dope punchlines. It's like what's the story that you're telling me with all your albums combined? Like what's the arc of your career? Like where did you go? How did you evolve? And where did you go next? So to me, it's not just about and I like to do that in each round of a battle too. Is like to have a narrative, a beginning, a middle, and an end. And I just felt like the story that I had written, if me and Mook had been like a great classic debatable, it would have been a good ending chapter. Even if I lost, but it was just like a great battle,
Mm-hmm.
that would be a good chapter to end on. Could be a good chapter to end on. And I had already, like you said, it was already kind of like they was dragging me out because my goals in battle rap was never to be the greatest battle rapper. Like when the era I come from, it was like you got to battle to kind of get on. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
like you got to get your name up, and then you're gonna record and make maybe get a 12-inch deal and put out vinyl and then get an album deal from that, whatever it is. So my goal was never to just be the greatest battle rapper. It was like I'm gonna use this as a tool to get in the door, and I'm a be an artist. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like I already kind of felt like I had gotten everything I could get like out of taking this path of battle rap and was ready to kind of move to something else. But once I came back to it, it was like, you know what? Like I'm throwing out the baby with the bathwater. Like people love this shit. I got fans that hang on to every single word. The level of writing and the intricacy of the wordplay that I like to do. There's people out there that actually fuck with it. You know what I mean? Like I got friends and family members that can't listen to me explain the double, triple entendre and the references. They're like, all right, bro, like I don't care. But there's other people that care about this shit the way I care about it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me keep adding chapters to this book. You know what I mean? And also I just felt like so many people have a moment in time that makes them great, and it's like, yeah, well, the stars kind of lined up and shit was different back then, and I felt like I needed to prove it to the fans, but really to myself to be like, well, if I could do it, if I could get to the top before, like I should, if it's real, if I really got it like that, I should be able to do it again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I want to just get back in the mud and like not rest on my laurels and be like, oh, nah, I'm a legend. You got to give me this person. You got to give me that person. It was like, let me get back in the dirt and scrap with people that other people from my era or my position might not have mixed it up with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That battle with Daylight, that was an impressive performance. Then I believe the next one was Disaster, right?
Yeah,
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 yep,
that was another impressive one. And then it was B Magic,
yep.
and then was it Clips after that?
Yeah, I think it was Clips.
It
Yeah,
was Clips, and then yeah, I'm getting to the battle with you and Rum Nitty. Like all of those was impressive,
yeah,
but I feel like that was the build up because at that point, a lot of people, that's when Rum Nitty was reaching his peak, and people felt like, yeah, Iron, you know, he Iron doesn't punch as much, so a lot of people had Rum winning, and I think that was your first time back on
yeah,
Smack since the Mook battle, and
yep.
that goes down as one of the most classic battles on URL in URL history. Smack
Word,
Volume
appreciate you.
One, you know what I'm saying? The first volume you know what I'm saying? That was fire. That's probably my favorite performance from you since you came back. Now, topic of discussion is that performance, I think that scared a couple guys. You were supposed to battle a couple people after that people was real excited to see. What like if there's anything we missing with you and Sue Surf going down, I guess elaborate on that, and if that was brought to the table now, would you still be interested in that, or do you know what I'm saying? Do you feel like he might just try to do the same thing again?
No, I think that's a battle that kind of needs to go down. You know what I mean? And I think like, I think the fans want to see it. And I think Surf, you know, maybe he wasn't ready emotionally to stand in front of it. You know what I mean?
Mm,
But
mm-hmm,
I think honestly, I think Surf needs it too because he's been playing with his legacy, and I
mm,
know that he's capable of getting in the ring and having a great battle with me. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's something that should happen. I think it's a good one. I think it would be a good one to come back in the game too. You know what I mean? Yeah.
what about Verb? Because you know that it wasn't just Surf. You know,
Yeah,
Averb got out of there too.
yeah, it's a lot of ducks. It's actually a battle rap group that people don't really know about it, but it's called Ducks Get Lux, and it's so far it's Averb and Sue Surf are the members, and yeah, you duck iron and then they give you an easier plate and you get Lux. So it's like a secret society of battle rap called Ducks Get Lux, and they're like two members. You know what I mean?
Fire.
Yeah.
You feel like what makes you say Lux is an easier battle? You just feel like his style of writing like is it's easy to catch on now that it's kind of like the same thing, or what made you say that?
Nah, I mean Lux is incredible. But I'm just saying, I obviously there was something more scary to these individuals about me than Lux. That's it.
Yeah,
It's
like
I'm not telling y'all that. Surf is
n-
telling y'all that.
now,
Verb is telling y'all that, right?
now, my opinion on it is, I feel like, I guess in their mind, they feel like with Lux, they really got nothing to lose because of where people put him at. So even if I go in here with
Yeah.
him and you know what I'm saying, he might win or destroy me. It's like, oh, but it's Lux. And then with Iron, it's like Iron is a legend, and if he fucks me up, it's over. Like I'm not, you know what I'm saying. So I think that has something to do with it. I mean, a lot of niggas duck me, so I know how that shit goes. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, this next question before we dip into something else: do you have plans on coming back, or are you just, you know what I'm saying, in the sunset right now, chilling, unless it's something that really intrigues you? Because, you know, I didn't even see this interview, but they was telling me in here that I didn't even know Sean called you out.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I'm definitely planning on coming back. Like I got a lot of unfinished business, and just like I have so much fun with it.
Hmm.
But I just want to, when I do come back, I want to be able to be in a position where I'm focused, because if I'm capable of a performance like me and Rum Nitty, I don't want to come back to the ring if it's not on that level. You know what I mean? Like, because I
Hmm.
feel like I'm robbing myself, and I'm robbing the culture. Like, if I'm capable of greatness, then I want greatness every time. You know what I mean? I want to put myself, at least set myself up in a position to be great. Give myself the best chance of being great. And I feel like, I need to be able to fully focus on that. You know what I mean? And Shine is scary right now, bro. Like he's in his final form, you know what I'm saying? Like he's solidified his spot as one of the GOATs. And it's really dope to me that that's something that would drive him for
Hmm.
he and I to get in the ring as like part of his last chapter, you know what I mean? Um, like I might need a warm up, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
Shine is really that guy, and his performance and just his professionalism, you know what I'm saying? Like, you too, it's like there's certain people that like just are, you're on the court so fucking much, and it's like the seasoned professionalism is out of control. So it would be a real challenge for me to do that, and also because like I rock with Shine, and like I would have to figure out a way to find a motivation
Hmm.
and a venom for him, and also like he's not I have respect for everybody. He's not somebody that I look at and I'm like right away I'm like, oh, he did this and he did that, and I could pick this apart and I could pick that apart. You know what I mean? Like, so I would have to find a motivation for it to be like, damn, this is a beast that I'm gonna have to like really step into a certain realm for. So that could definitely go down. But just being real, I think I probably need to take someone else first. You know what I'm saying?
I
And I
feel
and it, and it's like I got unfinished business that I feel that I'm motivated to would be motivated to tend to first,
you.
so I could
So
really
so
focus on
Verb
that.
is
You know
the
what I'm saying?
unfinished business. Surf is the unfinished business. Who else does Iron Solomon have unfinished business with?
I mean that those are the only ones really that are like
All right.
super on the plate at the moment. I mean, yeah, yeah. There's other people that I've spoken to about. We had plans to battle, but I think those might be the ones to those might be the meals to finish
Hmm.
before I think about something else. You know what I mean?
Got you, got you. So, um, like I said, we're about to dive into a different segment of topics, but they was asking me at the beginning of the chat to ask, and I know you said you'll say why. So I'm gonna just ask anyway. Mook versus Tay Rock. What are your, not even if you picking the winner? What are your thoughts of the impact of this battle with the in the battle rap culture right now?
Yeah, it's fire. I watched that battle live, and I thought it was crazy personally. You know what I mean? I thought it was dope to see Rock like angling and like, you know, I like the I like that he, you know, I guess it's probably kind of like Daylight that pushed him to get a little more creative with the theatrics. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's ill to see somebody, you know, you and I were talking about this, like to be this long in the game and still find a new way to elevate your creativity or step into a different creative lane, I think is ill. So like, it's ill to me to see Rock go from, you know, the big hats and the dusty clothing to like really putting on a theatric like performance. And then, you know, it was dope to see Mook like in his form, like in his bag, and he had some crazy shit. The angles, like, you know, he's an angle god, like we were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't personally feel like my opinion on who won is super important. Um, for me, like, communication is all about the context that you're communicating in. Like, you know, your man might be like, "Yo, bro, like, you putting on a couple pounds. It might be time to hit the gym." Like, um, that's a, you know, one on one. That's a loving and supportive statement. You know what I'm saying? You in
Mm-hmm.
a room full of people. You know, there's some females there, whatever. Like, now he's playing you. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
for me, like, I have relationships with a lot of battle rappers, um, that, you know, if I'm gonna give feedback on a battle, and this is actually, it's good we talking about this because this is really why I stopped judging the Ultimate Madness. I did the first event, I think, or the second week of it, but afterwards it just ain't feel right to me because I felt like, yo, like, I like to give feedback. I reach out to people behind the scenes and be like, "Yo, I fuck with you," or like, "Yo, this is where I think you could tighten up," or "Yo, you doing all right? Like, it seems like you're going through it." Like, I reach out to people behind the scenes, and so if I'm gonna give feedback on a battle, it's gonna be constructive criticism, and I want you to be able to hear it because if I say it in front of the world, you're not going to hear it the same way. You know what I mean? So that's why I usually don't really give my opinion too much on predictions. You know, if I got a prediction, I'm gonna reach out to the person and be like, "Yo, I think I see this coming, or I think you could approach it like this," but I'm not gonna say it in front of the world. And if I feel like somebody won or lost, you know, I'm gonna say that to you to be like, "Yo, I feel like you could have stepped this up better," or "Yo, you was in your bag," like whatever it is. And then also, you know, I got a relationship with Rock. I got history with Mook. I know I'm not gonna be a totally unbiased voice, and I don't want any of my bias to spill over to somebody else or paint the picture. You know what I'm saying? I'm just one person. Like, my opinion ain't all that important in this particular topic. You know what I mean?
Got you, got you. Let me ask you this though. With right, because the way this is going with caffeine, shout out to caffeine giving us the platform. It's now where battle rappers are now the bloggers. So with that being said, like what is the fine line? Like how is it? Like because when I get on my show, right, friends and all, Cortez got mad at me for certain things I said about his battle with Easy the Block Captain. So I'm asking you,
Mm.
where do you feel like the line should be drawn, or how do you go about it? And this is really Cortez question to me and Clips on the phone. Like now that we are the bloggers, what line is it drawn where okay, this person is just doing their job as media now, or where does it cross the line because you might have a personal relationship with that individual? Like for me, I feel like when I get on my show, just like if I have a bad performance, I'm all for people, saying it in fun. I feel like if you have a personal relationship with somebody, you don't drag on, what I'm saying, the situation or, put them down like going in. Like keep it on the topic of the battle, keep it clean. But I feel like you're not gonna be doing your job fully as media or a blogger if you exclude certain situations out because if you
Mm.
if you blogging for, you know, caffeine or the culture, you gotta put everything in the culture. How do you feel? Because that's like a big thing now. All of us got shows. All of us got to discuss each other in battles that we may have won or lost. So like, you know what I'm saying? What do you think is the best approach moving forward? Because that's like a big situation right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, like, I think that you're a person with principles, and the way you're describing, being responsible with your voice, right? You're saying,
Hmm.
look, keep it focused, don't bring personal shit into it, you know what I mean? And, for me, I feel the same way, that's why, like I said, I don't really talk on other people like that. Um, I think, I can't expect other people to move how I move. I
Yeah.
often, I often am disappointed in people. I'm disappointed in, I think ego and pride, and the need for attention, or to feel like, oh, I'm media, and the media I've seen before me moves like this. I got to
Hmm.
do that. Or now I have this position. I have to say something exciting. I have to create clickbait. Like, I think that oftentimes just outweighs people's morality. You know what I mean? I think all human beings have good and evil in them. All people have temptation and, selfishness. You know what I'm saying? Even Mother Teresa was doing charity work because it made her feel good. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hmm.
like, yeah, that's generosity, but it's also selfishness at the same time. So really, to me, it's all about just weighing, like, are my morals and my principles of how I want to treat people, or how I want to be a friend to somebody, or how I want to use my voice, are those morals and principles more important to me and stronger than my ego or my need to, um, take this particular path toward fame, or this
Hmm.
particular path toward financial gain?
Yeah.
And I'm disappointed in a lot of people with the choices that they make, but I also have to, try to be disciplined emotionally to not expect that other people are going to move how I move. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's a tough field to navigate. Like,
Hmm.
I would just say for people, it sounds to me like you feel good about how you're navigating this media position. Um,
I
and
mean,
I would just say for people, like, yeah,
yeah, I
not
feel,
DJ.
yeah, I feel good about it because when I come on here, I have something called the hot seat, and I tell,
Mm,
you know what I'm saying, my peers, if you're not doing good, you got to pull up, but it's all in fun, it's not disrespectful. That's my thing. Like, at the same
right,
time, I think people confuse the internet with being real. Like, being real is
mm,
not telling your man something on the internet or exploiting your man on the internet for jokes and laughs to a bunch of people that really don't even give a fuck about the topic. But it's just something that's
right,
on the net today that we can laugh at. And then people, like you said, get the morality messed up because it's like, all right, he's not being real because he's not saying it. Like, I was always told,
yeah,
if my friend is wrong, if my kid is wrong, if my mother is wrong, if my brother is wrong, we address that behind closed doors because that's family. So I'm never going to engage in certain things for other people's approval or to make other people, entertain, because that's what this is. This whole thing is to make other people entertain, and a lot of times people get that confused with what's real. You have a bunch of people that will talk about street shit on the camera, and you have the comments say that's real, but it's like, if that's the streets, that should be left in the streets. Or people posting money on Instagram, and it's like, that's not real. But it's like, nowadays, what is real? Because that's
right,
like, in this generation, in this era, that's what real is being defined as. Like, now, if you don't fight somebody or check somebody and put it on camera and it's not documented, it's not real.
right.
You feel me?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh well, I mean, they said you fucked them up, but you didn't record it, so it didn't happen. And now you're not blogging and talking about it, so it's like,
right.
what I'm saying? Like, people's morals be confused, but you know, it's part of the game. That was. I'm gonna segue back to that about something else, but the next thing I wanted to ask you is with the B dot and T top battle happening, uh Mook's rounds for Tay Rock. Just generally speaking, not only because I feel like battle rap is like the music industry, like, it shifts. We had an era
Mm,
when we first went to Webster Hall where people wanted to see um performance because we were in front of big crowds. Then it went back to a stage of just general punchlines. Now I feel like battle rap is going back to the breakdowns and the substance of
Mm.
what you're actually crafting. I don't know if it's because of the pandemic, the no crowds, or it's just another shift. But I feel like right now that's what people are gravitating to uh more. Do you I know for somebody with your style that's actually more up your alley, but from the things that you've been seeing, the battles have you been watching, do you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like it really is. It's kind of ill that the pandemic has forced battle rap into this position, and it's been thriving. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, and for me, I still feel like the stage and the performance element is something that, you know, I have work to do on. You know what I mean? And like, I always focus more on just writing and rapping, and like, because that was what was exciting to me. But it's dope to see where it's gone and how those are different. MC, right, master of ceremonies. Like, you got to control the crowd. Like, so you know it kind of, for me, it the growth of battle rap showed me kind of holes in my game of things I didn't necessarily focus on as
Mm-hmm.
priorities for me, because it was like, sometimes it's like you go to the gym and you skip leg day. Like, for me,
Yeah.
just the performance element was leg day. And I think it is dope to see this new kind of current era where it's a small room. People really focus on the lyrics. You're not getting that immediate feedback of a crowd, and it really changes the dynamic. And I think, like, that's the thing, is everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. And even though, there's some stuff that might be like, yo, this person was definitely without question better than that person, all of it is still existing in the context of the moment, in the scenery, what's going on in the culture at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's battles that change the culture 10 years ago that you could throw on now, and like, younger generation wouldn't even understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like, even
Mm-hmm.
even with even old school hip hop is like that. Like, there's some albums I listen to now where I'm like, damn, like, if I just heard this now, would I feel this way about this music? Or was it like, yo, this was playing when I was getting pussy for the first time, when I was, you know what I'm saying? Like, or yo,
Yeah.
I smoked my first blunt to this song right here. Or like, I remember sneaking out my crib to go do graffiti, and this is the album I was listening to. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just ill to see it move through the different chambers. You know what I mean? And yeah, I would be hyped to get back in the ring in this environment too. But I also am excited about the stage because it's a challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely. Listen, we halfway in the show. We got a bunch of more stuff to ask Iron Solomon, which I know what time it is. Prop gang, where y'all at, man? 30 minutes into the show. Prop gang, where y'all at? Dion Turner, what up? My man URL says, I feel you. Miss Talk Your Shit. In fact, Five Deep. CP, what up? It is an hour. K1. That's why I said we halfway through the show. Iron in the building.
Yes, sir.
Wild Girl. Bless, what up? Um, yeah, to segue back to what we were saying, I held D Dubs, what's up? Project Rico, Face, what up? I had to um I had to hold that thought because that's what I wanted to I stressed that when the whole Jolisa, I see you. I stressed that when the whole Devel, Carmel Lady. Good morning, good morning. Project Rico. Um, I stressed that with the Joe Biden that. Like, a lot of people didn't understand my stance. Sandra, a lot of people didn't understand my stance when when all that was transpiring or whatever. Jolisa again. But it was really from the stance of, I'm not saying I didn't feel like people had to agree with it. One thing that we all will never agree on is, racism, politics, and religion. But my thing was that thing about morals that we said. It's, you know, through the good days and through the bad days in battle rap, when it's been a bunch of other people's days, I never been the one to kick people when they down, or if I didn't like something, join in on the fun and helping people, which I I don't regret because that's just who I am as an individual, and I'm not gonna broadcast the air out who, but it was just surprising to see the same people that when they fucked up or they needed something, whether it was directly from me or was it me reaching out to URL or another league to get them booked, just to see how all that shit goes out the window when it's a joke and
Mm.
it's time for somebody to laugh. Because like you said, those same individuals could have hit me. You had my number when you needed money. You had my number when you needed advice on, what should your next move be, or how could you sell your t-shirts, or how could you move your music. All of that was fine, and you didn't feel like you wanted to ask me that in public because of your ego or your pride. And then it was like when the Joe Biden thing came, I'm not saying you had to agree with it. I'm not saying you could have not said I disagree with this. That's fine too. But just to see certain individuals going in, it's like people have no morals when that time comes in, and I feel like that's the problem with battle rap. Like it's a crab in a bucket, crab in a barrel, like culture.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, I keep saying this, but like, I think we got to stop saying things to the internet that we ain't say to people first. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if somebody is your man, if somebody's your friend, if you have somebody's phone number, if you have my phone number, anybody, or somebody that knows me and we have a relationship, we've seen each other, we met each other, or even just our relationship is that we both part of the same like small subculture. And I'm not saying small to minimize it. I'm saying small to say that like, yo, it's a subculture. Like you go to Comic Con and it's a subculture of people that fuck with comics. Like battle rap is a subculture. If we part of this subculture and you got something to say to me, like say it, just hit me, yo. Like I think we all as human beings and like especially in hip hop sometimes like have a hard time communicating and disagreeing. Like successful constructive disagreement is not like a healthy part of American culture. You know what I
Mm-mm.
mean? And so like we know how to be yes men and we know how to be like yeah and cheer people on and agree, or we know how to be like nah fuck you, I ain't fucking with him. Or like how many times you heard somebody be like yeah, oh, I peaked that he did XYZ, so now I'm just not fucking with him.
Mm-hmm.
And not being like, just going to that person and being like, bro, like, I peeped that you did XYZ and I don't fuck with that. Like, what's up with that? You know what I'm saying? And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like we miss a lot of clarity. Like, it's important sometimes, like, everybody has their own map of how they see the world. Like, if you're
Yeah.
somebody that got, like, you dealt with a female, I'm sure, that got done dirty by dudes in a certain way, and now everything that you do, she's seeing that in your behavior, even though that's not how you're built. Like you're like, I'm not even playing you. You just so paranoid and ready to get played because
Yeah.
it's happened to you before that now
Like what Bless
your
said. Like what
yeah,
my
like
man
not,
Bless.
not
Perception is reality. That's a fact. Like going into what you were
exactly,
saying. I.
exactly. And so if you want to like, that's why we need to just get clarity and be like, yo, this made me feel that way. Was that your intention? Is that where you coming from? You know what I'm saying? And like, I think there needs to be more of that. And I really, I hit you, when that ad dropped, and I was like, bro, this is fire. Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't, whether or not you agree with the message, and I could understand, like, I could understand people feeling like, oh, I don't know if this is what DNA really and Clips really believe, or they just
Mm-hmm.
got paid to do this, or I do feel like the DNC, the Democratic Party, takes the black vote for granted, and
Mm-hmm.
with Biden saying, you ain't black if you're not voting for me, those are valid criticisms. But for me, and I am a registered Democrat, but I'm a big critic of the Democratic Party. Like I'm very disappointed and let down, and it's still corrupt politicians to me all over the place.
Yeah.
But I personally feel like Biden is the lesser of two evils, like without a doubt. Like there's no question in my mind that Trump is just represents the most disgusting like elements of humanity to me. You know what I'm saying? And so I support the message, the overall message, and everything has flaws. You know what I mean? I think we have to be able to criticize our own, quote unquote team, because that's what the shit has become. Like, it's become like, football or something where people are just cheering for their team and their quarterback can do no wrong. Like, it's okay to have criticisms without just abandoning ship. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of people are looking at the Democratic Party and feeling like, Democrats have really taken the black vote for granted. These motherfuckers is rich and powerful. They're at the top of a system that has, they're at the top of a system that has made them, put them at the top. People at the top ain't fighting to change the way shit is built. You think Smack and Beasley gonna get to the top of battle rap and want to change the rules of the culture that they're winning in? Like, you think Jordan's gonna want to change how basketball is played when he's at the top of it? He's been working his whole life to be at the top. So I don't really believe that the Democratic Party is truly for the people, but I think it's the better option. You know what I'm saying? So I support that piece of it, even if there's criticisms of some of the things in there. And beyond that, like, bro, what? You think 5 years ago, even, let alone 10, 20 years ago, we was on street corners spitting fucking battle raps like we about to be part of a presidential campaign? Like, whether or not you agree with the fuck was being said, how can you not look at that moment and be like, damn, son, like, motherfuckers done came up, like, heads done made the culture relevant to the point that the presidential campaign is enlisting motherfuckers? Like, that's ill on its own. I could disagree with the message.
You know what's so crazy though, Iron? Is because they wasn't a part of it. Like, now, because you got to think about this, Iron. You got to think, right? Now that it's a big thing, people just to stand on their own too, you'll see more people, if they're presented that opportunity, say no now. But when the opportunity was presented, just like it was to me in Clips, when no one was even thinking about it, 95% of those same people would have took that money, and they would have been the ones, criticized or scrutiny towards them
100%.
Because of that. So it's like, I already know what it is. I'm not in this position, and this is the problem. You never watched my battle with Vixen. That's why I didn't care about. I was talking to her because she's black and white, but the whole round was about black and white in general, because I feel like this is the problem with my race. People are so jealous and upset when you do something that's an accomplishment. So the first thing is they mad that it's not them. And two, they always look for an avenue of where, since the accomplishment doesn't have anything to do with them, where they could downplay it. So yeah, we did the shit for Biden, which how some people look at it like, oh, it's amazing, da 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 da, that they was even in a position to do that. But on the flip side, people look like now, like, okay, but mad people are gonna look at this as pandering, so this is my opportunity to shit on it, and I won't look like a hater. But that's where it's derived from. See, me, I look at opportunities like when things happen bad to people and then people start speaking on it, it's like, okay, you really felt this way about me, but it's masked, and you really didn't have an avenue to say this. But now that you got one, you're taking your opportunity to tell me how you really feel. So I kind of like these situations because it's like I'm around a bunch of people. They
Cut the
got
grass.
that. Now you got that meme where you see the nigga smiling, but when you look under the mask, he's upset and crying. Like that meme went around for a while. That's what it be like when you start doing shit. It's a bunch of people you think niggas is all smiling like, yo, this is my man, but they not. So it's like, boom, when shit like this happens, okay, now I get to see, yeah, you really never was with me. You was just there for the opportunity. So I'm never mad at it, but it just be like, it's crazy because I've been around, and like in terms of bad moments, I have minimal compared to other guys in the culture. And then when I'm watching all those other moments, that's way more pivotal than an ad. And I just sit back, don't engage. I have no opinion. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. And then to me, my thing was what I was saying to you on the phone is like, Avocado commented on the post that I did with 15 Minutes of Fame, where Uncle Ryan said he never looked at my perspective like that, and he agrees. Because my thing was, Avocado is the subject. I never said we can't forgive him. I've done things that maybe I shouldn't have been forgiven for, and know people that have, and I forgave people for shit that maybe they shouldn't have been forgiven for. So that's totally understandable. My thing was he is the subject. My issue is more so with my own people that will have the energy to just welcome him with open arms after something like that. That is way more crucial than, you know, a nigga saying you whacking a blog or such and such owing you $20, and then the energy is never the same because we systematically train to just go against each other. That's how like the media designs everything you see subliminally, subconsciously. It's so that's why it's a war within ourselves that we have never got over. That's like another reason why too, like during COVID, now when I came back to battle Vixen my first round, I um I did the same thing that people usually used to see me doing, but in my second and third there was really no gun bars, and that's what I'm gonna continue to do because it's like when I'm looking back at a bunch of African Americans losing their life to racial injustice and you know, just racist people by the cops or whether somebody else, I'm looking at it like, all right, well, whether I'm doing this or not, whether I did this, whether I know people that do it, if I'm talking about this in my material all the time, then I'm not part of the solution. I'm part of the problem. So that's why I said the COVID pandemic changed my outlook on life because I'm just sitting down. I can't leave my house. All I got to do is read. And as I'm reading, it's like we putting out shit that we don't want to happen. So why are we putting it out? For ooh, for for a bunch of people to say, yeah, that was crazy. It's nah, we gotta stop doing that because then we also our own worst enemy because we still feeding into it. We're putting that out there. So now when they go to look to say, well, you don't want such and such killing da 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 da, and you saying this person is not da 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 da, and then they pull up a battle and boom, you saying that. And then the only defense mechanism you have is, oh well, it's just entertainment. So it's like that kind of changed how I'm perceiving it. And then that's why when I battle Vixen, I nobody sees a blog where I argue if she won or not because it's like if that's your opinion, that's yours. But I know with me having a daughter, I can't get on stage and degrade you in that way. The way I'm gonna
Yeah.
talk to you now is like you making this mistake, you making that mistake, and boom, 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 because that's not the way I'm gonna talk to my daughter. So
Right.
I'm like, now I'm at a point where when I battle, I have a bigger purpose than just the individual there because I want the shit to surface past that. So it's cool if in the moment, because I was that guy in the moment. I was the current event guy, the nigga that's saying the ooh and ah shit right then in the moment. So I get it. It works. It worked for me my whole career. So if I lose every battle because of that, I understand that. I already know the science to that. Now I feel like the more challenging thing is to leave something on the table that when people go back to 7, 8 years later, they could watch that like, oh, DNA was saying this. I could get that from that. So I'm cool with that because it's like I know what I'm doing. And that's why I never gave a knock because at the same time, I love the conversation that I had with Vixen because it's true. I could say all the shit I'm saying and my daughter could grow up to be everything that I'm not wanting her to be. So you got to weigh the pros and cons. That's why I like the battle like opposites attract. That's why you and Nitty was a classic. That's why B Dot and T Top is a classic. That's why me and Vixen is a classic. Like all those battles where you get two sides, because it's never one side. Because at the
Right.
same time, you know what I'm saying, it's somebody that don't understand what you're saying, and vice versa. So that's just my take on, you know what I'm saying, on that whole situation of like how we move. Like, and I feel like the change got to start with you. And I
Yeah.
feel like you've
100%.
been doing that, Iron. So that's why I give you your flowers because I feel like every time you battled, it was more than just a punch. Like whether it took 12, but when you got to the 12, we understood like, all right, this is what Iron's doing. He's setting it up. He's layering it, and it took people. It took for you to be in that volume. Think about that though. We
Right.
battle all the time with no crowd now, but it really took for them to eliminate the crowd back then for people to appreciate what you were saying. That's why that nitty battle in terms of the URL audience is what made niggas say like, "Oh, I ain't this," but you've been doing that. But that's what really opened their eyes.
Yeah, no doubt. Nah, I appreciate you, man, and I definitely agree with what you're saying. You know what I mean? And I also want to just commend you because like we spoke on the phone last night, like to come this far in your career and to have accomplished so much, like you could walk away and be at the top. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
you're still looking for new ways to push the creative boundaries, and you're still looking for you know, ways to elevate, you know what I mean? And I think that's the key to life. You know what I mean? Like people always say practice makes perfect, right? And I have a son, you know, you have a daughter. Like I don't never say practice makes perfect to him. I just say, you know, practice makes improvement. Like if you could do better tomorrow than you did today, that's the goal. Like there's no arrival in life. Like you probably hit it, you know, you're 18, you think you know everything. Then all of a sudden, you know, you're 25, you're like, yo, I know when I was 18, I ain't know shit, but you still feel like, but now I do. Now I'm 25, I know everything. And then you hit 30 and you're like, damn, I was tripping at 25. So eventually you have to learn the lesson of like, yo, if I step into the world like I'm brand new every time with my antenna up to tune into some new vibrations, new information, you know what I'm saying? Like that's really how you're gonna learn and grow. You know what I mean? And so for me, there was a time where I like you saying, you know, I said mad foul negative shit. You know, saying, you know, making mad gay jokes, saying, you know, like there was a time in battle rap where it was all about, you know, racism and homophobia for real. Even though I don't think the community felt that way, it was like this is how we joke on each other in private, and you know, joke in public like this. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like I personally grew, you know, I grew up with a crazy diverse group of friends. Like it's like Benetton commercial, United Nations type shit, and like I would watch battles where I would say, a homophobic slur, and I would just be like, damn, bro, like there's people in my life that this could really hurt them. You know what I mean? And like they might know that when it's just the homies, like, and we were joking around, we all know where we come from, and we all know what the intentions are. But when you like, it comes again back to the context of the situation you saying something in, like if I'm saying this in front of the world, it's gonna get misconstrued. You know what I'm saying? Like you might feel like, yo, oh, I'm saying a gun bar because that's just what we rap about. You know what I mean? It's just how the punches are. But
Yeah.
then when they play that on Fox News or they play that somewhere and they're like, this culture is all about violence, it gives them
That
the tool, like they can make that argument. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't. It's hard to explain that away now. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And so from like I don't even really like I don't you know I don't get on a soapbox too much and say it like, and I'm not anti gun bar by any stretch. I love that
Nah,
shit. I
me
can't.
either. Like
I mean, like,
I'm just saying for me, it's like I I tell my stepkids this, like if your potential is 100, then why is there 85 on the paper? Because now the teacher is gonna judge you off of what she's seeing you
right,
work with. So it's like for
right,
me, not for nobody else. Somebody else's mind may
right,
not travel the way mine is traveling or move the way mine is moving because mine wasn't on this wavelength at a certain time. But now that it is, I have to show you everything that's going on. Nah,
right,
bless what I'm saying. It's not being positive. Like in my second round, if you break it down, I said what I said was real shit. I'm still attacking you, but the way I'm attacking you is giving you knowledge. Like I said, B Dot and T Top inspired me because I'm looking at it from a breakdown. Like one of the lines I had told Vixen was, "Yeah, I'm gonna put you down, but still make you the greater woman." So in the process of that, yeah, I'm gonna say some things that you probably not gonna like, but in the end of it, it's all what I'm saying for the greater good. So I'm
right.
not Mr. Hey, don't show up, don't do this, because we all got different sides to us. But it's like you're gonna understand the bigger message of when I get out of here. Then
Yeah,
then then
exactly.
it's just boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna shoot them up, shoot them up. Like nah, it's the way I've seen a bunch of people attack and defeat people with words. That's what we're using, right? Words. So it depends on how you use those words, because your words is like witchcraft. So
Right,
if you speak the wrong shit into existence, that shit travels with you outside of the battle. That's what y'all forget.
right.
Y'all want to be entertained for the battle, but it's bigger than that. So it's
Yeah,
like, what I'm saying?
yeah. So
In the
you
same
go
in
back and watch a lot of my shit too. Like it's not. I'm not even preaching. I'm just omitting certain shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like I don't even like. I, I curse a lot in my personal life, but when I'm really focused and sitting down and writing, I want to be very precise with my words. So I end up by accident like not cursing that much in battles, like
Mm-hmm.
because
I pick every single word, like if it's a and or a because, like there's a reason that that's there. So, like I wasn't like I ain't making an announcement, yo, I'm not gonna use no more homophobic slurs or I'm not gonna talk about nobody's race ever. But it just happened. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
you could see it, and like, it's possible, and it's also like you said, it's pushing the creativity because I feel
because it's
like
more challenging.
is much more challenging. If you sit down to write and you already know the subject is going to be like I'm gonna write about shooting this person, then like that's half the battle, yo. Because when you go in the studio to make a song, the first challenge is like, yo, what's the concept about? And there's people that be in the writers' room, for pop records, for big hip hop records, like that. Their role is to come up with the concept. You know what I'm saying? That's a
Yeah,
whole skill set on its own. So like when you already know, oh, I'm gonna rap about this bang bang shoot 'em up shit. Like you're halfway there before you even start writing. You know what I mean? And when you want to get a reaction out of somebody, we all know that something shocking gets a reaction. Period. You know what I mean?
my
But
whole
if
thing is like it's always all the greatest rounds in battle rap really have no gun bars in them. So that should tell you something for the people that's in the comments saying that the rounds that transcend past it is the rounds. You know why? Because everybody expects the gun bar. Everybody
right,
expects the punchline. Loaded Luck's third round by far might be the most viral round in battle rap that has no gun bars
yep,
in it. There's a reason for that. That's what I'm
yep,
saying. Kayshawn's third round against me, even if it was gun bars, it's the creativity of him, somebody that you would never think turned into a professor and broke DNA down. All we can have this argument all day. All of the great Iron Solomon and Rum Nitty, you know what I'm saying? It's always good opposite to track make great battles. But I'm saying the rounds that transcended past battle rap, 95% of them don't have gun bars in them.
yeah, totally. And again, like I see people in the comments like, um, I'm not at all, and neither are you
Yeah, and
anti
I'm not
gun bar.
against it. I'm talking
Yeah,
about what
I'm
I'm
not
gonna
anti
do. I'm
purging
not
like none of that shit. Like,
listen. In order for you to know what not to do, you have to see somebody do something wrong. So we need that in the world. But then you also
right,
need somebody that's positive as well. So we need gun bars and battle rap. I'm not advocating leave it. I'm saying what I'm not gonna do.
right, exactly.
Everybody's
Yeah, yeah.
perspective is different. So you know what I'm saying? Like I
And I
love them.
enjoy I enjoy that shit. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
that's what I'm
saying?
saying. I
Yeah, like
enjoy
I
making
grew
them
up
up
on my
and thinking of
Mob
them.
Deep and
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's a certain
NWA and
yeah, it's a certain time you just elevate to do something else. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? That just might not be for me. I'm not against it though. I have no knock to niggas that's doing it. I'm just saying like and I'm it's always a couple you gonna have, but I'm saying predominantly my rounds are not gonna consist of that. That's what I'm trying to
yeah,
say.
yep.
Mm-hmm. Hey, 38. Nah, it was 38 and 27. Your math is off. Yeah, my man Blessed by the Beats. I had said that in my herb battle like 8 years ago. He always used to tell me that. Like, yo, DNA, stop talking about guns. You know, you do this ill, you break down. But that's what I'm saying. When somebody's mind is just not there, it's not there. That's why I'm like, after the pandemic, when Rain put me on to these books and all this shit I'm reading and doing that, I feel like I'm doing a disservice to my people if I don't use my platform to display what I know. Knowledge is everything. So I'm going to use my knowledge as power and try to, give it to somebody. That don't mean you're not going to get the same DNA that's going to try to kill a nigga. It's just I've elevated. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Why,
dope.
why, why would I
What
be
what
the
uh
same guy at 18, at 30 talking about the same shit? That would be
what
pointless.
what books did Rain put you onto? Or what
The art of war, 48 laws of power. There's a couple, there's like two other books from Robert Greene, and then he was just sending me a bunch of like clips and videos of scientists and people talking about how like the government is a business, like shit that you just never taught. Like you just
right,
systematically trained to feel like it's America, it's the world, and then you learn like, yo, this is a business. So yeah,
right.
even though this is real, this is gonna drive this, and you know what I'm saying. So it's just shit like that. Like, and I'm just sitting there hours out the day reading, reading, reading. That's why I came out with that EP Scarcity, and then even my song right now, Once Upon a Time in America. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
that's great.
Our words is powerful. I did that
Yeah,
video because it was like all we keep seeing is our people getting knees put on their neck, shot, stabbed, killed, and then they make those videos go viral. So you watch it over and over and over and over, and it's psychological warfare. So it's
yep.
like I'd rather use my words to speak something else into existence so we can stop feeling like victims and, start looking up all type of other shit. Like, yeah, now when that's put out, that's the energy we got. Now we walking around feeling confident about ourselves. And I'm saying that in general with anything. Like, your words is super powerful. Use them in the right way. So that's why with the battle with Vixen, it's like I ain't want to just segue to be like, and I'm not on some luck shit. I'm not on some brother polite Dr. Like I still got a lot of work to do. I'm just getting there. But as I'm getting there and y'all watch me grow in other things, y'all gonna watch the material just keep getting more in depth as I get the knowledge for what I'm giving. And I'm still coming to smoke niggas. So none of that shit, like none of that shit is gonna change. That competitive part about me is not gonna change where I'm just like, all right, man, hey, let's say a bunch of nice things. No, I'm gonna still tell you some shit that's gonna fuck you up, but it's just a different way of fucking you up.
Yeah, hell
You know what I'm
yeah, hell
saying?
yeah.
Like it's gonna fuck you up where you think about it after. Like, all right, let me get my shit together.
Yeah,
Not,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? More so than, yeah. So
Yeah, I'm gonna send you this podcast that I was listening to called Scene on Radio, and each season that they do is like about a different subject. And the two seasons that I really fucked with was one was just about race and the like how race became like this popularized concept. And then the other one was like about the formation of America and
mhm,
like the real intentions of the founders. And like one of the things that I thought was crazy is that like basically, you know what I mean, at that time, everybody was just trying to, it's like globalism. They're trying to go out and make money wherever they could go. You know what I mean? So if they go to a certain country and they find spices there, they're going to make money off spices. If they find people there, they're going to kidnap people and make money off of people. You know what I mean? And so when
mhm,
they came to America, there was a lot of people that was doing land prospecting. Like they was going out and trying to own land and develop because it's like undeveloped, in their eyes, undeveloped land. Of course, we know that you have indigenous people who were here, but in their eyes, it's undeveloped land. But because you had these different commonwealths, you had, Pennsylvania and New York, and they have their own laws. Um, you could buy land in Pennsylvania, but somebody from New York ain't recognizing your ownership of that land because you're not united under a single governing body. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
so all people who were out there were trying to get investments from England. They were trying to get, venture capital to back them, and people wouldn't put their money up because they're like, yo, if you buy that land and then you have to fight to like for someone else to acknowledge that you really own that land, like my money could be wasted. You know what I'm saying? Like you could go buy property and you don't really own that property. So a big driving force was creating federal laws to unify those different entities to be like, nah, we all recognize this land ownership. So now we can go get money from England to invest. So literally, one of the driving forces of the formation of America was to be able to get investments for rich people to get richer. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm gonna send you the podcast. I'll text it to you later. But yeah, for everybody tuned in, it's called Scene on Radio. I think it's like SCENE, like a scene on radio. I think it's like season 4. But yeah, man, like they not, this government's not for us. They're not for us. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of the okey doke is like divide and conquer. Like you were saying, like
yeah,
crabs in a barrel. Like the whole time, like even though I hate and despise racists, and I think there's so much fucking ignorance, and I hate, like I feel the emotions of hate and anger toward this stuff. I also know that poor racist white people are pawns in a game that the rich and powerful are playing, and they're every time like they like this division, like they love it because it makes us look at other poor people or other human beings that aren't powerful as our enemy when really we all being taken advantage of the same way. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So like it's all part of the okey doke. You know what I mean? It's dope. It's great to see you grow, man, and like you've accomplished so much. And I think sometimes we forget that how young you are because of how much you've
Yeah.
already accomplished, and it's a beautiful thing to see you elevating even more. And I definitely want to peep some of the books that you're reading. I definitely want to chop it up with you and with Rain, and I'm definitely, we got to keep these conversations going and continuing to share this type of information. It's ill, man. I appreciate that. That where you at, you know what I mean?
Nah, that's a fact. I ain't good looking, man. Nah, I appreciate, you know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, I told B Dot and T Top that when I was there, because that was the thing. Like, of course, when battle rap started back in the small room with the pandemic, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna prove the niggas that I could rap in the room. But I was kind of like, with all the knowledge I had, I was like, how am I gonna approach this? Like, it can't be the same DNA that they used to seeing. And then I watched T Top and B Dot, and that battle inspired me. And I told both of them that, like, yo, salute to y'all. I was even drunk when I was watching it. I was like, yo, this is the best battle I ever watched. And some people thought I was bugging, but it was for those reasons, because right then and there, it like sparked where I wanted to go in my own way with it. So, um,
That's dope.
you know what I'm saying? Salute to them. Yeah, my next battle is Luke Castro, November 21st, rookies versus vets. So, yeah, we gonna make that happen for everybody that's in here. Um, we got the Get Money and Drink Water jackets.
Woo!
You know what I'm saying? We did a
Nice
collaboration
fire.
with Chalkline. Shout out to Chalkline. You know what I'm saying? We only got 50 jackets. We sold like 43 right now, which means there's 7 left. Size is small through 4X. So anybody that wants one, make sure you DM me on Instagram or Twitter. Um, Prop Gang, one last go around before we get out of here. Salute the Iron. Later on, we got Charlie Clips on Freestyle Friday, so you know what I'm saying, that's gonna be crazy too.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. Yeah, appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. Definitely. And
Nope.
good thing seeing you with the merch and all that. And like I
Mm-hmm.
can attest to the fact that like anytime I reached out to you to ask you, yo, how you doing this? How you moving in this way? You always volunteered information. I have to even like dig to get information that, you every time we speak, you always share how, oh, this is how I did this is how I did that. And
Yeah.
it's dope, man. It's
Yeah,
dope.
like
Those
in general, man, I feel like with anybody, that's like the only way you could grow is sharing information. Because the crazy part is, like, you can give a bunch of people information, and then it'll only be a few that actually take heed to what you're saying. So it's like, I still did my part though. Candy
yeah.
Love asks, "What's the name of the podcast?" I think she
Oh,
wants to check it
the
out.
podcast is Scene on Radio, SCENE, like a movie scene on radio, and each season is about a different subject, and I'm pretty sure it's season 3 was about race and like how race, was used as a tool to justify slavery and as a tool to create division amongst people where people would like, particularly let's say poor white people would identify with their whiteness before they would identify with their humanity. So they would look at the people in power and feel like they were, oh, they're white, so I feel connected to them because I'm white, and whiteness became part of their identity before looking at other human beings who were citizens in the same position as them and looking at them like, yo, we're human beings on the ground, and these super powerful people are different from us. They look at them as being the same because of the color of their skin. And then I think season 4 of Scene on Radio is about like the formation of America and the financial motivations and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So Scene on Radio is the podcast, and it's seen like a movie scene. And I'm pretty sure it's season 3 and 4 is the ones that I was really tuned into.
Bet. Make sure y'all check that out, man. Yeah, man. It's informative information being, you know what I'm saying, that we trying to give y'all early in the morning. And like I said, anybody in here that got anything y'all want to share, the DM page is always open. Send it to me. I'll check it out. I respond. Same thing with Iron. So, you know what I'm saying? We here. Let's help each other grow. But, in competitive nature, niggas still got to get smoked. It's just, in a different way. But good looking for y'all tuning in. 8 p.m. Um, Freestyle Friday with Charlie Clips. It's going to be
Woo!
crazy. Make sure y'all tune in.
Hell yeah.
Bet.
Bang, 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 bang.